afternoon to all the monks, nuns, teachers, all the research scholars, and to the students, the young lot who is present here. My name is Merrin, and I do not have a biography in the abstract, but I can self-introduce myself. I am an art conservator. I work with an organization called INTACH. INTACH is Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. So I am here with my two colleagues, Mr. Subroto Sen and Mr. Galib. They both are conservators. We are really thankful to the organizers who has invited us here for the conference. So basically, I think everybody must be having, wondering why I am here and what is the purpose and what is the link between Vajrayāna. The purpose and the link I would like to demonstrate through my presentation. In my presentation, there is very little text and there's a lot of pictures. I have taken this liberty because I find it very difficult to even explain to my father what I do for a living. So I think this would be very much explanatory, self-explanatory. So you see that is the logo of INTACH. So INTACH is a non-government organization which was formed in 1984. So the mission of INTACH is to conserve heritage. So what is the role of INTACH? I would be elaborating a bit about INTACH. The role of INTACH is to sensitize public, document and develop heritage policy, protect and preserve living, built and natural heritage, and also to provide expertise in field of conservation, restoration, capacity building by developing skills through training programs and generating sponsorship for conservation and educational projects. So INTACH, how INTACH operates is, INTACH has a lot of chapters. So basically what we mean by chapters are, in around 170 Indian cities, we have branches of INTACH. They are small chapters with 25 members who actually brings across or gives us information about the conservation needs in their area or in their city. So INTACH chapters we have chapters in Delhi, Madurai, and almost 170 cities in India. So what does this chapters bring information, or what do they require help with, or like what conservation need happens? We have architectural division who takes care of conservation need of architecture, which include temples, monasteries, mosques, palaces, and then we have natural heritage division, which conserves or like lakes, even land, natural heritage basically. And then we have art and material heritage division. This is the division which we belong to. And intangible heritage, that means like folklores, dance, music. And we have craft and community heritage division. Basically, this is the division where like indigenous craftsmen, mostly because of modernization, now we have industrially made products, and little bit handicraft sector has been affected by that. So the craft and community heritage division, they promote the traditional artists and handicrafts and community so that they can bring forth their traditions and keep it alive. Then we have INTACH Heritage Education and Communication Service, which encourage children and students to understand the importance of heritage and to communicate it further. Then we have INTACH Heritage Academy, which offers various scholarship for conservators and many skilled artists and many people who are interested in conservation. So basically, Art and Material Heritage Division, that is my division. So Art and Material Heritage Division is also INTACH Conservation Institute also. We have that branch also. So we have basically 7 branches, that is Bhubaneswar, Bangalore, Mumbai, Kolkata, Jodhpur, Lucknow, and Delhi. So this is Delhi center. This is my lab where we mostly work. And as you can see that this lab, basically, we conserve almost everything, like except for broken hearts, we conserve everything. We have tapestries, canvases, manuscripts, sculptures, and all sorts of art objects. And apart from lab work, we also, this is a blessed opportunity because we also visit sites, and especially monasteries of Ladakh. Everybody must be aware of Ladakh. You must have heard that there's a lot of Buddhist culture which is there in Ladakh. And we are sent to Ladakh. Mostly it's a bit difficult position there because the site is only open during the summer seasons because of the problem, 3 months mainly, because of the problem of light, the temperature, which doesn't allow us to work more than that 3 or 4 months which we have. So every year we come back to the site, and that's why our projects are a bit longer time framed. So, and this is the place where where basically I realized that I can live without my phone also. So this is one of the site. This is this monastery site, Sang Chosling Gonpa. Basically, this is one of my case study which I am portraying here. This is an ongoing site, and the conservation project or the conservation assignment started in this Gonpa in 2015. So normally the time period we travel to Ladakh is during May, June, and July. So these are the summer season which we have more light, and the temperature, the climate is much favorable. So in case of this Gompa, we reached in 2015 during the season of October and November, and it was really cold during that time. And the reason why we have to go there, because this Gompa was having a lot of problems, structural problems. And if we wouldn't have intervened, there would have been many, the problems would have been aggravated, and there would be many losses happening. So let me give you a bit introduction to the Gompa. A little bit of history. The Gompa is in Jammu and Kashmir, and it's in the district, Kargil district of Ladakh. Mostly Leh is the area where we have lots of monasteries, Buddhist monasteries, but Kargil, we have monasteries, but very few in number. So this particular location itself makes this Gompa very important. So the legend says that the Gompa was made in 1878 AD and by 2 monks on the request of the local community. So basically, according to the folk lore, they have told me that there was no water available, there was no stone available for making the monasteries. So they say that 2 birds flew in and sat on the left side of the mountain and on other side of the valley. And then they were considered as the local deities, which has taken the appearance of birds and came in. And they had come to help to construct the monastery. So there was a prediction sound from God from the sky, and after which water came out of the side of the hills, and that's how the monastery was made. So this is how the Gompa was looking in 2015. So let me give you an introduction to the Gompa. As you can see, the main entry, it's already written, when you enter through the main entry, there is a lakhang, whereas in the lakhang, there are lots of wall paintings on all 4 sides. And then there is a chamber of the main deity. And when you exit the Gompa, there is an ambulatory path. So, okay. Okay. This is the entrance of the Gompa. So you might be thinking that it's a very bad photograph. The Gompa's door is a bit shifted. It's not like that. Actually, the Gompa has it's been sunk. The door has been sunk a bit because of the problems, architectural problems it had, and which I will elaborate more. Then this is as soon as you enter, this is the view of the Lakhang. You can see the statues of the deities there. Then this is the main chamber where the deities are. There are 4 main statues, 2 of Avalokiteshvara, which is 10 feet tall, and the deity in the center, which is, I think it's 12 feet, and at the back, there's the statue of a deity, which is, I think, 17 feet tall. Yeah, and this is one of the view of one of the wall paintings. This basically what has happened is there was a structural problem in the complex, so they have built up a new wall so that they can support the roof and the roof may not fall off. That's why they have added a new structure here. And this is one of the cell adjacent where some main idols were kept. This is the ambulatory path outside the Gompa. Okay, so where you can see this is the chamber where the deity is, and above the deity there is a small upper tier to the deity, which is also acting as a roof to the 17 feet tall statue. And the access to this area is quite limited because you cannot access it. You have to enter through the window and reach this area of wall painting. Okay, so these are the wall paintings. Okay. Basically, if you observe in this painting, you can see a lot of wooden beams, electric fittings, and things like that. So these were not intended earlier. There was no such kind of fittings or nothing. There was only one window which was opening and source of light, and the light used to fall on the face of the deity. So it's a very uplifting spiritual experience when you look at the place without any lights, because the light fall, the sun rays.
Sorry to interrupt you, 3 minutes more.
Okay. All right. So let me quickly. Okay. So the structural problems include a lot of problems because of the roof structure. There was too much weight on the roof, and it was because of too much of mud and the construction techniques. The roof was having a lot of weight, and that was crushing the beams and putting a lot of pressure on the floors also. And because of the problems of the roof, there was problems or damages to the wall painting, like water and mud drippings, leaching out of plaster, cracks and losses, and there was some kind of previous filling or restorations which was attempted, which didn't work out well. Then there was cracks, surface accretions, flaking of paint, soot deposits. So in initial phase, as I said, in 2015, that was the first time we went there for emergency treatment. So we saw that there is a lot of detachment of paint layers and plasters. So we did emergency treatment that was like providing facing and like locking the areas so that they don't fall out when we come the next time. So phase 2, that was in 2016, that is basically the architectural conservation which we had planned. So basically what you see here is we are reinforcing the structures so that the pillars and beams don't move and the roof doesn't fall down. And the plan was to change the roof because there was no other alternative rather than changing the roof. So as you can see, these are the villagers who has volunteered, who is helping us with the conservation process. So there was additional mud which was there on the roof, which has caused a lot of problem in the roof. That is, there was too much mud in one area and too less in one area. So where there was too much, then the beam which was supporting it was taking too much weight, and that causes a lot of stress and leads the wall painting to crack open. So we had to remove all this excessive mud from the roof, and this is how you can see that the entire roof of the Gompa was disassembled and it was taken off. And then, because beams which were supporting this roof has no strength anymore to carry or hold the weight there. So you can see these are the volunteers, and it sounds a bit very interesting maybe, I don't know. But when we took off the entire mud from the roof lifted up. That is what we experienced, because the weight has compressed it so much that when we took out the excess mud, the roof lifted up like this. And you can see the jacks there. That is to support so that the beam doesn't collapse and fall on the other things, so that the roof just stays there like that.
I'm sorry, time is up.
2 minutes.
Okay, you may conclude.
Okay, so this is how we used to work. There is no source of, like, it's in the middle of the village. So we have to cross the rivers and take the beams along with us, cut on the side. And this is how the roof has been assembled. And this is how it okay, this is how it used to look. And then this is where actually I had to start. Okay, then this is what we did, documentation of the problems of the wall painting. And this is how our documentation sheets look like. We mark every crack, every problem in the wall paintings, every detail. And this is basically collection of mud plaster sample for making the plaster. And this is just an example of how we do our experiment before doing conservation work. And these are some of the before and after pictures.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll just quickly, I will not say anything, I'll just quickly, so that they can see. This is a Mangkyu Gompa, 12th century. This is just before and after picture. I'll just move on, because these are only before and after pictures, so that you have an idea what actually we do.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you, because we are running behind the time.
Okay, so I'm almost there.
Okay, please thank
thank you.
our